to the eye, but it's everybody knows it's there. Everybody knows what's going on. So nothing's changed. It's just things are more out. He's more out in the open about what he's doing. That's all, which is good and bad. I mean, but it's bad in the sense that it's gonna give the ignorant the excuse to continue to be ignorant and then treat people with open amounts of hatred. I mean what's happening to Muslim people. I mean, oh my God, just imagine if you're 17 or 16 or 15 or 12-year-old girl or boy, and you're brought in your like first generation American. Your parents came here from the Middle East, on some sort of I don't know, whatever, job or something. Maybe they work for the government or something, and they came here, and then you're like 12 years old, 13, 7, and you're part of that religion, not by choice, but just because that's who is your family, and you're going to a public school in like, somewhere, Chicago, somewhere in the Middle West, or down south, or even, here in Palm Springs, which is not, the most open-minded place, I mean, it is for, gay, and transgender and all that stuff, but not for fucking, there's a lot of prejudice, racial, that, for the Mexicans, the blacks, and stuff. I mean, those people, those kids are gonna be, like, tormented because they see this on television, or, yeah, they'll probably see it on television, but all the other kids are seeing it, and they're saying, it's like almost open season on Muslims. Like, they don't have, like, if you're a Muslim, you talk and you get loud, or slightly, you get angry or emotional or to your white counterparts, dude, and just call the cops, and then the cops come and question you in front of your children, dude. That's pretty embarrassing, when a cop, like, makes you submit to them in front of your family, as a male, as a man, that's gonna make you upset, make a person upset. Yeah. And they're gonna react, and then just because they're not allowed to react because they're Muslim, they're gonna have to take their lickings, They're not gonna. I don't know. It's just they're openly doing it. I mean, but it's all set up, dude. It's just all fucking set up. So I really seriously have a hard time believing that this is just happening as just random events just unfolding just randomly, naturally, like without any purpose. I really have a hard time believing that. Can that really be true? Do you think that's true? Do you think this is actually just unfolding without any plan or action? I just can't believe that. I'm very systematic. I'm well thought out. Like when I'm going, are you getting ready to laugh at me?
No, it's true. You really are.
Yeah. So like when I'm out and about in my life,
mm-hmm.
I'm watching everything. I see the stoplights like 2, 3, 4 stoplights ahead, right? And so because sometimes if I'm in my truck, there was one time in my truck where the oil was dripping on my brake pedal, right? And so, that was, causing, I didn't want to use my brakes a lot, because my foot would slip and this sort of thing, So I would gauge it to where, I wouldn't have to stop for so many, I would try to hit all the green lights. So I would, adjust my speed accordingly, So I'm always watching like 4 stoplights ahead, or, I'm watching people over there. When I'm walking through a crowd, I adjust the way I go, all kinds of things. I'm always like, when I'm doing my catering, when I'm talking to people, whatever, it's just like, I try to find the, if I'm in the right mood, and I'm not feeling antagonistic at the moment, I try and find the easiest, softest way to approach life, right? Naturally, I just naturally do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just this is a very inconsequential life. My life is it's just me thinking about it and doing it. Dude, this is a government with like, I don't know, 100,000 people strong or something. You can't, I find it hard to believe that, they're not like at least 2 or 3 steps ahead, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, they should be like years ahead.
Yeah. Right. But maybe if there are however many you said, 100,000 members of the government, maybe that's too many people for it not to be a little chaotic, to be that organized.
Totally. Oh yeah. Well, right.
Because then there's so many variables.
No, for sure. And when I say 100,000, let's say, but like 98,000 of them are the paper pushers. They're the ones, like the receptionists, the mail boys, low end. They're just like filers, they're the filing cabinets. They're putting in the orders, they're submitting the paperwork to make it a law, but the people pulling the strings are without a doubt the wealthiest people on the planet.
And so if that's one of the negative parts of him being so outspoken, what are the positives?
Well,
of him just saying what's on his mind.
Huh? What are the positives of that? And the positives would be that you have an idea of where things are headed. There's no if it's but then there's always the thing, like on the Princess Bride, when the prince gives that Joker guy the 2 cups of poison, and they're going back, and the Joker guy is like, switching it back. Oh, well, you knew if you want me to drink this one, then I'm going to drink this one, but maybe you planned that I would think that you would think I was going to drink this one, so I drink that one, then I'm going to drink this one, and so forth, right? And then he goes back and forth and goes, oh, look over there. And he gets the prince, and the prince looks away, and then he switches cups, and then the Joker guy's like, oh, and he drinks it, and the prince is like, you just drank the wrong one or something, and the Joker guy's like, ha, I switched the cups when you weren't looking, ha ha ha. And then the prince was like, well, actually I've been taking small doses of the poison for years, and so I'm immune to, and I put poison in both the cups, or something like that.
Yeah, and like
it's the woman's lover, the prince. I don't know. I imagine he's the princess bride. So if she's the bride, then he's
the stable boy.
Yeah, the stable boy, right? And then the Joker is the very good actor, the short, very good, who's
Yeah.
phenomenal actor who's
Right.
been in all like tons of things, like
In My Dinner with Andre.
yes, exactly, right. So it's if it's not a situation like that, then you kind of get a grasp for the direction of what's going on. Even if it is a situation like that, you still get a grasp for what's going on because it's because there are things actually happening that are cause for alarm to a certain part of the population. As far as the banning or having extreme vetting for people coming from these certain countries. Okay, that's not alarming to the boys in Oklahoma. They want extreme vetting, right? It's not alarming to people in Louisiana. No, they want extreme vetting. It's only alarming to the liberals in these.
The outskirts.
Yeah, where all the wealth is on the coast, on either side of this giant island. So, it's like, so in that sense, I think that's a positive because everything's kind of out in the open. Another positive is, I think that's probably, I think that might be the only, is that, yeah, there should be enough warning for, to act, whatever that action is, I don't know. I mean, like for most people, like for you, I don't think you would be able to leave the country. I don't think that you could mentally do that. I think it would be very difficult for you. But and hopefully that never has to come to that point. But and maybe at some point nobody will be able to leave the country, because if there's like a major, I mean, I can't imagine how you could not think that what we're doing in the Middle East isn't a major war as of now, but it's always been a fight against terrorism. It has never been a fight against a government. But Iraq, I mean, we went to war with Iraq. We toppled that government. Probably American citizens probably don't go to Iraq. I wouldn't imagine, unless they're part of the government or part of the military. I don't think like an average white guy I would go to Iraq. Mm-hmm. I know there was a documentary, this guy was doing a documentary, and he did go to Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And he was killed. So but Tom said, he was like saying like Russia was the big brother who like takes all your best candy, He said Russia is not like, well, maybe he was referring to when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But the only reason we live well is because we exploit, like the Congo. We take all the resources and leave them high and dry.
Yeah.
It's just because we exploit, We go and dominate. We go and send our military, collect just the resources or control the resources either in some way. I don't know.